over number one. I watched it over and over again, over and over again. I don't know who was at my first presentation at the Allstate office. Was there anybody that was there? Okay, y'all remember how much I was sweating, how nervous I was? Yeah. But I forced myself to go do it because I'm never gonna have to ask Mr. Crump to go. Like I took him to Jacksonville with me. I told him, I said, this will be our last trip. We really enjoyed each other, so we'll be doing it because of that. But I'm not gonna need him ever again to go anywhere because I understand when people need to see something, you need to be the one to take it to them. And if you equip yourself to be able to go and just show this little simple presentation, then you're going to be one of the people making the most money, to be honest with you. Here's a reality when it comes to doing presentations. You're going to be bad before you're good, and you're going to be good before you're great. Like, I was actually I didn't really get comfortable until Thursday when I was here. I don't know who was here last Thursday. That was the most comfortable I was doing the presentation because I had forced myself to do it so many times. So the way you get good is to get up and do it. And here's something you always want to remember is the person who's seeing the presentation, like don't ever say, oh, you know, yeah, exactly. They don't know what's going on anyway. So don't ever stop and say, oh, I messed up. Like I'll jokingly say, I shouldn't be too good at opening this up and stuff like that. But that's part of my personality. You know, I'm always going to say something silly. I'm always going to do something crazy. I can't even turn that off, right? So here's the deal with the presentation. In your opening, all you want to do is let them know that it's a focus group and they're going to have an opportunity to ask questions. Because during your presentation, in-home, you never want to be as stern. You know, I give you an example. One time I was doing an in-home presentation and the person's dog, you know, walked up and kicked his leg up and farted right in front of me. I had to be professional and keep rolling. You know, somebody was asleep. I couldn't let that affect me. But then at the end of the presentation, that person got up and signed up on the biggest package. He said he had just got off work and he was tired. Sometimes we allow the audience to affect us. And that's the hardest part about doing this. Because I'm technically shy, ain't that right, Steve? That's one of my high school buddies. So always remember, they don't know anyway. So don't never stop and say, oh, I messed up, right? So the first thing you're doing is you're getting 3 cups of water. One with a little bit of water, one with more water, right? And then the filler cup to do your little measurement. You want to go to Walmart, get a little black box. You know, I think I paid $19 or whatever. And here's the thing, the only reason why I got this because Damon had one. I seen Damon Coleman pull these suckers out of his pocket. Yeah, he just pulled them out of his pocket and did the presentation. But I like the black box effect because, you know, it's kind of like a surprise when you pull it out in the whole 9, you know. So just have some plastic cups. You want to always, you want to have your measurement cup and then go get you some always 8 or 10 hours. And then, of course, you're going to have samples. You know, in a minute, that won't be a problem for anybody. So the first thing you're doing is you're letting them know there's a focus group and they're going to have an opportunity to ask questions. Everybody saw I did that tonight? Mm-hmm. Then the next thing I did was let everybody know how we got here. That's when I'm telling my little story of how I found out about this. And you want to make it short and sweet. Mine was longer at first because I was nervous. I don't know if y'all was ever at that first one. I told the whole story because I was actually nervous, right? So I shortened it now with just Mr. Harris and Damon Coleman came by when I saw it. I was getting ready to leave and all that. Then you start talking in third person. This kind of helps when you say, when I say, then what he did was he pulled this out, you know, and I knew I was in the wrong place. Now that probably works for me because I'm a guy too. So with ladies, it's going to be a little simpler just to, you know, pull it out and start talking about it. And, you know, open it up, lay them both down. So there's 2 ways you can do this. If you notice today, I open them both up and I let people feel it. Because now they're having a personal experience with it. Everybody with me? You don't always have to do that. If you're doing a big meeting, go ahead and let people feel it because they're almost closed in. Because it's obviously softer. Right after they feel it, that's when I say that we've talked to several OBGYNs and they said the average lady, when they're having their feminine flow, is the term we use, they exude 15 to 50 milliliters. You pour it and put it on both pads. This is how simple this is. Here's where the psychology comes in. Once you pour the water on both pads, you have to give it a moment to allow ours to do its job. Y'all with me? Which is pull all that water down. So as soon as I wet both of them, you'll notice I say, one of the things we found out is that Exhibit A has been causing our women things like ovarian cancer, you know, birth defects, miscarriages, breast cancer, you know, all the other effects that you can think of, you know, and that's something that we're really concerned about. So I'm just giving it a moment to do its job, right? Then you simply get the paper towels, put it on theirs first. It's going to be soaking wet. If you notice, what I do is I get somebody else to do it. Everybody doesn't do that. What Demond and them do, they just do it themselves. But you know how we are. Some people are thinking when he gets to ours, he's got his hand cupped, all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. But here's the deal. This presentation is so short. You know, just have somebody say, well, who's never seen this before? Can you come up and help me? And let them press down. And you heard her say, ew, that was you, right? But she said, oh. And then you're like, right, look, exactly what we thought would happen. And then just say something about how many people will want this up against their body. Then you do ours, and you let them press it as well, and you actually close the room when you show that dry paper towel. It's a wrap. Here's the psychology, guys. After you do the paper towel test and wipe your face if you're like me and you're nervous, right? After you do that, now you're dissecting the products, right? That came, I'm getting better as I'm doing it. Now I'm ripping it open. And I make fun when I'm doing it, but you pull off the first layer of theirs. The first layer, just remember, is rayon. And it's very rough and coarse. The next layer is the blue dye strip. There's been times where I pulled off the blue dye and the absorbency thing, just still flow with it. I held them up together. So this is the blue dye. This is the part, you know, that is part of the absorbency technology, but you can see how it's leaking. See, like actually this has some of the things still on it. But usually when we pull it off, it actually looks like this. See, and I just kept flowing with it. You see what I'm saying? This is part of that technology, but it actually is just blue ink. You want to drive this home. This is nothing more than blue dye. And if it's leaking on and then you look down and you see, like I did today, that it already leaked on the one, then you show it. As you can see, it already leaked here. But that's what I threw in the cup already. As you can see, it's already leaked here. So if it's leaking right here with cold water, where else is it getting? Let them answer. It's getting into your system, into your bloodstream, right? Then you simply pull off. I'm going to act like this is that part. The absorbency system, roll it up, and then you say which one of these has less water in it. It's obvious which one, right? You always put their Exhibit A into the one with less water. You want to put ours in the one with more water. Make sense? Yeah. Stuff it in there. Just tuck it down with your finger. Let it sit. Finish dissecting Exhibit A. Get to the bottom part, rip it open, and that's when you hold this up. It's nothing but plastic bag. So if your body's 98.5 degrees, what is that an environment for? An environment for bacteria to build. And there go some of the other issues that we're having. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, just watch that video over and over. Then when you start dissecting ours, you want to take off that first layer, which I already ripped up, and you want to let people in the front row feel it. Because now you're moving around a little bit. Let somebody touch it, and they're going, ooh, ah. Then I always rip it so they can see that it's cotton, right? Then I open up. This is where, and this was somebody made, a young lady made a point. She saw how long that thing was today. That was actually a different prototype. So you don't know till you open it up, because I was like, God, look at that thing is good. Because y'all know they ain't this long, right? So it kind of surprised me. So we got different prototypes. So the first layer you pull off, and you let people feel it. It's a huge difference. And you're just going through this real quick. Which one would you prefer to have up against your body? Obviously, it's not rayon, 100% cotton. Then the next thing that's there is the blue algae strip. You make 3 points on the algae strip. It's a 100% natural algae strip, 100% natural algae strip that's infused with negative ions. And you always want to say, do your own independent research. Don't take my word for it. But negative ions have been known to help with what? Pain is the first one. Or then you want to say first, negative ions can be found at waterfalls, the beach, and what's the other one? I forgot that quick. And thunderstorms. Thunderstorms, waterfalls. Somebody said the aquarium. Use thunderstorms, the beach, and waterfalls. Because when people actually think about that, you can remember the odor, and nobody's ever tripping at the beach, you're always relaxed. It's because that's where negative ions are found. They're known as the air's vitamins. And that's what's infused in this green algae strip. Now, it's been known to help with the actual, what's the first one? It's been known to help with, it pulls bacteria. It's been known to pull and actually eat away at bacteria, which means it helps with the smell or the odor. People love that, right? Now they don't have to use the body perfumes. So the first one is bacteria with odors. The second one is pain. And the test we've been doing, I don't know if I'd necessarily do that. It's up to you, but it's been working every time we've done it. Every time I say who has some foot pain, and I give somebody that strip, I'm not saying you need to do that, because I didn't see anybody else do that. I've been doing that on my own, other than the one time they did it in Smyrna. And so it's just been kind of happening naturally. So the first one is odor, because it kills bacteria. The second one is pain. The negative ions have been known to help with pain, which means, ladies, what if you get rid of your menstrual cramps? And there are a lot of women I'm finding out that literally suffer in silence. Some have to stay home. They're not, from what I'm learning now, they're suffering because of overflow and accidents and pain. So when you can help with that, you know what I mean? That's one of the things the strip helps with. Also, it balances their pH. This is the ion strip. So it's been known to actually, in some cases, cut the cycle time. So you always want to use words like in some cases, or, you know what I mean? Don't make it like it definitely does it. Because if one person doesn't have the reaction, they're going to be coming back to me and say, well, I did it. I wanted it. It didn't do nothing for me. It's been known in some cases, or some women have experienced a shorter cycle period. If they have a 7-day cycle, it's been cut to 6 or 5. And if they have a 5, it's been cut to 4 and 3. So those are the main points on the eon strip. The next thing is the actual absorbency system, and it's always going to be wrapped in this, which really makes it easy to get out. So you kind of just pull the whole thing out and lay it down, and then roll it out, and then you say, well, you guys did say that this one had the most water in it. Here's the main part of psychology. You put it in, tuck it down, and now you're going to talk about, sometimes I've skipped this part, but I went through it today because I felt how thick and soft this was. Like I said, this was a big one. You know, I'm like, man, I got to let them touch this. But now what you're going to do is you're going to pull up, I want y'all to catch this, the bottom of ours, because you just talked about theirs being a plastic bag, and you notice I moved my body over here and stood in front of the cup. You notice that? Because some people get fixated on the cup. We want to let it do its magic. And I'm saying, you guys see that? See those lines look like runways? That's for the breathability of it, right? How many people like that? So if you notice, I let some people feel it, I tear it, let them see that there's cotton in the whole 9. But I did that from right here. Y'all notice that? Because I want to let the cup do its magic, because folks are, you know, staring at it. So I'm holding this up, I'm saying, now, you see this part, when you watch the video, you'll see the man do it. I just did everything he did. Then when he went over to psychology, I caught it. It's not no trickster stuff, but it's stuff that, you know, just, I got y'all's attention here. And then I said, well, how long would y'all say this has been in here? You see that? I did all that from right here. Because now I got this right in your face. And they're like, man, that thing is full of water still. Right? And this is what they call the absorbency system. I'm just chatting. And then I say, they say 10 minutes. Well, how long has this one been in here? Oh, she even took the cup. Where is she? She took it for real.
That's okay, pretend.
And she's gone too. And then I say, how long has this one been in here? Oh, about 2 or 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes, and that's when I turn it to the side. And it's a wrap there. You know, so, and that's basically it. Now, after I do that and show them that it didn't leak out, that's when I said, well, guys, we're done. And you can even say, I noticed Damon does this, as he's ripping open even the first pad, he'll say, and as we're closing, everything is we getting ready to wrap up. We getting ready to let y'all go. I'm done. Right? So after he shows the absorbency of our product, that's when you talk about the awareness program. You know what I mean? When I saw this, I really didn't see an opportunity. What I saw was the women in my family. But what I'm most excited about is the awareness campaign, and it's called Now We Know. Y'all remember that? Now we know, N-O. Now we know we're no longer going to allow our women to suffer in silence. So we're going to have Now We Know 5K runs. We're going to have Now We Know basketball tournaments. How many people like that? You know, you can ask stuff like that because you're closing them with the biggest part that the company's the most serious about, which is this awareness program. And if you notice, guys, it's 100% closed and nobody even really sees the comp plan. It's the first time in my life I've noticed that. Now, we're going to have all that on the website, but right now, y'all don't even have to worry about that. The only thing you got to do is just get good at this. And here's the thing, mess it up. Like, I'm going to put him on the spot. My sponsor said he was fumbling with ripping open the napkin. He just took the whole thing, balled it up, and threw it in there. And he said it worked. Wow. You know, he was fumbling with it. He just balled it up, threw it in there. He said, hey, she signed up. You know? So the key is just to do it. Your biggest teacher is that video of Demond Crump, especially the one that Clarence put out because he clipped it and made it shorter, so it's going right to the meat. That's the one with the few graphics in it. Has everybody seen that one? Well, when he says March 15th, the date pops up on the screen, and the words Now We Know pop up on it. Well, I don't know if he can give you the link for it, but it's about 3 or 4 minutes shorter from one too.
Yes, 19 minutes.
Yeah, we'll send it out. So, any questions at all? Would anybody like to get up and kind of orate through it? There's too many folks in here, huh? We're going to let Clarence do it. Yes, question.
Did I miss for the 2 cups, which one has the most?
No, he said it.
15. Did you put 15 or 50 milliliters?
Well, you say that a woman exudes 15 to 50 milliliters, and then you pour it to 50.
Okay.
And here's another point you can make that I didn't do tonight. We did the 50 milliliters in ours, right? But then it was about 200 more milliliters in the cup.
That's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, it was 200 more milliliters in the cup, and then we poured the rest of the water out of theirs in there.
Right, that's what I'm gonna say.
You know what I mean? So it's a
You didn't even
no-brainer.
have to say anything.
But you don't. If it hits you, like a lot of stuff, you'll start kind of getting your own flow. You know what I'm saying? So the main thing I want to share with you guys was the psychology of holding it. That's why it doesn't matter how far back people are, because you're holding everything up. Because at first, what we're going to do for the Tuesday meeting, I said, you know what? We need to get a camera and show it on the table and put it on the screen. But guess what that's going to subconsciously do? The guest's going to be saying, okay, well, I'm going to open up Chattanooga, but I got to get a laptop, and then I got to get a projector. We don't want none of that stuff going on. We don't need nothing. We don't need no TVs. All you need is those 2 pads and 3 cups of water. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a measure cup. And it duplicates a lot faster. Make sense?
Right.
And here's the key. Remember, the company, when they put the video out, they say you don't even have to do none of this. But guess what? A lot of folks still going to be doing it.
Right.
Because there's cities of people saying, can somebody come, show this to me? When you get in your car and go, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. So, yeah. Any other questions?
What did you say it was made out of again earlier?
What's that?
Our product?
Our absorbency part?
Yeah.
Corn-based powder.
Corn-based.
And it's the same thing that diapers are made out of. I don't know if they're all corn-based, but it's polymer. So the government, like I said, took care of the babies, but when it comes to our women, they don't care about that. It's the weirdest thing. They took care of the babies, but they could have put that. They could have just did the same thing, or made it a mandate that it had to be done. You know,
That's $1 trillion industry to get to.
multi-trillion dollars, and they're making that money on the quiet tip too, because everybody has to do it automatically for so many years. So that's why I said we're about to disrupt the industry, and they've got everything in place. They got their boxing gloves ready. You know, so we'll be done by the time. And our awareness program will be in the communities across the nation so strong, so if anything, it's going to make them look bad if they try to come at us in any form or fashion. So the only thing they could do is try to price us out, but we already took care of that in the beginning. Right. Because they ain't going to lose a lot of money. They might start coming, because there are organic pads out there. You know, they researched all of that. But none of them have the complete package that this does. So what you're going to start seeing, like I guarantee you, 6 to 12 months after we launch, you're going to start seeing more commercials on organic pads.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But the biggest difference will be is, number one, you can't get paid from it. Number two, they won't have any culture behind them, and they definitely won't have any awareness program.
No absorbency.
There you go. Yeah. So we're going to be, it's like anything else. You know, juice companies that start, and you start seeing copycats, they already know there's going to be copycats.
Why are you doing it now?
That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. but we're gonna have such a footing on it, it's gonna be ridiculous. Yes, yes.
I have a question. Are you, is Nspire affiliated with the Nspire that collects goods for needy families?
No. Mm-mm. But that doesn't mean they might not be, because they're gonna be getting behind a lot of causes. Yep. All right, we're gonna let Mr. Clarence come up and run through it real quick. And I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I understand if you don't want to do it now, especially in front of a lot of people. But I'm telling you, what I suggest you do is start setting up meetings and going and showing it to people and mess up in front of them. Because I live by the fact you're gonna be bad before you good. You're gonna be good before you great. I watched Mr. Coleman's video twice today just on GP. I just keep it, you know what I'm saying? Keep it rolling in my brain. So, there you go. There you go. All right, I'm going to introduce Mr. Clarence Harley, who's a specialist, and he is a feminine flow prevention specialist. Mr. Clarence Harley, give it up for him.
All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Thanks for those kind words, Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir.
Yes. My name is Clarence Harley. I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. Here to show you some spectacular blah, 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 blah. And what's going to shock you is shock you.
Blah, blah, blah.
No, I mean, no, we're going to make it. It's a training. We're just pretending. You know, I'm over the steps.
Yeah.
Over the steps. Right. So
Now here's
I'm going to tell my story how I saw it.
Okay.
So I am going to use my.
We can't interrupt him, y'all.
Right. So I'm going to use my unique story. Okay. So, you know, I actually was introduced to this opportunity, this situation right now that I'm actually getting ready to share with you by a very, very good friend of mine and mentor, Mr. Derek Brown. You know, when he gave me the call, I didn't hesitate, didn't ask him any questions. He told me what time he wanted to meet me and where to meet me. I asked no questions. I came right through. It was a little late, but I actually showed up. And the reason why I included that I was a little late is because the presentation that you're about to see was already going on. Okay, it was actually in session. So as I walk through the door, I come in, I see Mr. Brown straight ahead, and then off to my right, I see another spectacular person that's in this industry that I actually envy. You know, is someone that I highly respect, just from perspective from a distance. So I'm like, okay, I see Mr. Crump here at the table, but I couldn't see the table. I couldn't see what was on the table. But as I walked around, you know, he was holding up one of these. And I'm like, what is that? You know, I didn't even know what it was. And so he began to open it. And I'm like, what is he doing? He's opening up a pad and he's putting it on the table. So mind you, you know, I didn't get the preamble of what it was. I did not get the precursor. I didn't know what I was signing up for. All I knew is that I had respect for Mr. Brown, and I have a huge respect for Mr. Crump, you know, and I had to play catch up. So what was powerful about the whole deal was, without anybody saying a word, because everybody was focused on what was going on, what I knew what was powerful, by the end of the presentation, and I understood what was going on, I knew right away that this was going to be huge, okay? And so I had no questions to ask. But, you know, to make this even more intriguing, he held one of these up, and he actually, you know, really just explained to me what this was. And as you can see, you know, this pad is actually exposed. I mean, how many ladies know that these already come partially open like that, right? Okay, so the horrible thing about this is that we come to find out that these sanitary napkins that you ladies use are open like this, is vented like this, is because the adhesive that they use to tape this down is a duct tape grade adhesive. And if it was completely sealed, this particular package would actually explode, okay? So they're using very, very harmful ingredients in this particular pad, okay? So I'm gonna open it, lay it down, okay? And then he opened up our brand. So I'm gonna pretend we're holding up our brand, okay? And he said, okay, well, this particular package here is completely sealed, okay? As you can see, open the package, okay? Lay it down, okay? So we have a large room here ladies and gentlemen, who would like to come and compare the texture of these two pads. So people will come up, touch the pad. I say, okay, this is Exhibit A, this is Exhibit B. Okay, in the crowd, who noticed the difference in the texture of the pads? Okay, so everybody, hey. Exhibit B, smooth, feels like cashmere, feels like cotton. Ooh, yes. Right? Okay, so obviously there's a difference between the two pads here. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we come to find out, talking to many OBGYNs and various doctors, that women pretty much exude a certain level of fluid throughout their feminine flow. Anywhere between 15 to 50 milliliters of fluid. So I pour the 50 milliliters, and then I say, hey, on the front row, can you attest that that's 50 milliliters? 50 milliliters, okay? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually pour 50 milliliters of fluid on Exhibit A here. Okay? We're going to pour the 50 milliliters. Okay, we're going to get all that in there. And just to be fair, we're actually going to do that for our brand Exhibit B. Okay, so we're going to pour 50 milliliters. Everybody can agree? 50 milliliters there. All right, great. All right, so we're going to pour the 50 milliliters here. Okay, be really fair about that. Now, so what we understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that the most important part of this is going to separate their brand from our brand. Okay, so what we've come to learn is that through our talks with the OBGYNs.
All right, you can stop, man. That's perfect.
Okay, I know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's all that you go.
Yes.
That's good.
I know.
And that's it. He just got the flow. You know what I mean?
Right.
Anybody else want to try? You know what I mean?
Chicken and too. I'm hungry.
Yeah, that's literally what I did. So, anybody else want to try real quick? All right, you'll never be the same if you get up here and sweat it out. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's kind of, yeah, you can feel that.
You're unstoppable. But what you notice is he literally just has the flow of everything. And I was going to let him go on to see, but I knew he was going to do it. As long as when he did the test, walked in front of the table. That's one of the main things to remember. If you stay back here, people are fixated on that cut.
Exactly.
That's it. You know? Yeah, and here's the thing. You can just go mess up on people. Like a lot of times people say, well, Darren, I need you to come talk to this pastor. I said, no, you go mess up on him. Because I'm serious. I'll do that sometimes. Because you got to go through, you got to just get past that fear. And I'm telling you, I am one of the worst. That's why I do it so quick. Because I'm one of the scariest people when it comes to speaking. So I force myself to do it. You know, I'll be the first one. When they did the little training at my house, Mr. Crump said, who wants to get up and do it? I did it, and I did 100 times worse than Clarence. Because I knew once I got up, I'm one of those people I got to be in the game.
Yeah.
I'm not a good practicer. So I got up and did horrible. I was nervous, but I said, I'm going to do that meeting in Smyrna Tuesday.
Right.
So I got it. Once I'm in the game, you know, I could kind of front it out. So that's it, guys. Any questions about what we went through with the flow of the presentation? That's literally it. Here's the thing. If you end up with a meeting, like not a one-on-one with your broke cousin next door, but if you end up having to go out of town or something like that, you know, I do everything in my power to make sure you have what you need for that meeting. You know, right now, they are few far in between. I've got to leave Victor one, and I think I probably have maybe one or two more left, and I'm going out of town next week. So, you know, just keep that in mind as well. Now, yeah, sure.
So I thought that I saw one of our team members say she was doing a quick meeting training with a video or something. I don't, how does that work? So we don't have a prototype, or we just
good
meet with
point.
4 or 5 people.
I'm glad you brought that up. The way I actually initially built my team, I'm talking like it was 2 years ago. We're talking about last year. And what I'm still doing is I meet with people, like I set up an appointment with you. You know, I call Amin and say, you know, hey brother, can we do lunch today? You know, or even I'll go to people's jobs. What time do you go to lunch? Okay, well, I'm going to run up to meet you in your break room. I don't need but about 10 minutes. You know, they go, well, what is it? Trust me, you know, I just need to sit with you. me personally, I don't tell people what it is.
Exactly.
Now, this is me, only because of I've never done that in my entire career, but with this one, I refuse to tell you what it is, isn't that right? Same thing with Clarence, he'll tell you, I won't tell you what it is. So I'm gonna confirm that appointment based on our relationship. I mean, based on our relationship, man, can you give me 10 minutes of your time? All right, cool. What some of y'all need to do is before you go home after work, you need to have an appointment or two set before you go home. All I do is I meet with them and I take my laptop out. I said, listen, I just seen something that just totally blown me. I'm just talking from my heart. I'm still not telling them what it is. I'm just letting them know, look, I just saw something totally blew me away. Absolutely phenomenal. Everything you need to know about is on this quick video. I have my earplugs with me if we're in a restaurant. Sometimes I try to give them somewhere quiet, but I have my earplugs with me. I said, listen, I already alcohol swabbed them. Put these in here and watch the video. I'm serious. And I'll pull up the mom's video, the one Clarence has, because he clipped it a little bit. It's short and sweet. I let them watch the video. I'm calling to see what's up, making a few calls. I'm sitting there with them because you want to be interested too, though. If they take the time to sit there, really, you want to sit there and look at it like it's your first time. I take that back. It depends on how close I am to them. So if it's Greg and I need to make some call, I can make it real quick. But if it's, somebody who I'm an associate with, I'm sitting there and I'm staring at it too with them, even though they got the earplugs in. After the video's done, they close the thing and they're like, okay, so what do I need to do? And I pull out the form. You can get positioned now, fill out this pre-registration form. I'll put you on our team Facebook page, keep you in the loop. January 15th is when we're putting everything in the system. I'll email you a blank copy of this so you can send a few to your people. I'm also sending you the video you just saw. You with me? So you can send it to a few people. Because everybody said, what's the next step? The next step is the same thing you just did. Just let them see the video. That's all we're doing. Now, they do have a training system, so y'all know. They had a big meeting. Was anybody at that big meeting at the Renaissance Hotel? Yeah, most of us had gotten in right after that. But they do this thing called behind the curtain training. And it was off the training system they're going to show us. That meeting in Baltimore, that's why it's called behind the curtain. Because again, they can't say Nspire publicly or anything like that. So the first part, they do some basic training, inspirational network marketing training. But then afterwards, they go into this, and then they show how we're going to be building our business. It's simple and it's off the chain. It's a simple question that you're going to ask people. I can give you this now if I can remember. I think it's like if you call up a friend and say, listen, if you find out about something that could potentially save a loved one's life or somebody you care about, would you share it with them? Now, they're a fool if they say no. The other one is I think it's, do you have any female, am I right about this, Amin? Do you have any females in your life that you love or care about? I think that's it, something like that. But it's,
11 years old to adult.
Yeah, but that's one that we kind of added to. Yeah. But anyway, they got these two, what we call, these are called peak interest questions. And you ask, you got it, what is it?
Okay. Is there a woman in your life
there
that
you
you truly love? If so, I would highly recommend you watch this video I am getting ready to send you.
There you go. And so if you call somebody up, you say, is there a woman in your life that you truly love? And if you found something that would, potentially save their life, would you be open to share? And everybody's going to say, yeah.